really, really bugs me more than maybe it does anybody else. I don't know, but because she was the first lady. Mm-hmm. You know, I know that she was secretary, but okay. But first, she was the first lady.
And then she was senator.
I know. I'm like, you have to know about breaches of intelligence. You have to know. You know about those things. For her to claim ignorance on that insulted me beyond the injury.
And to draw it out the way that they have.
Yes.
The campaign has drawn it out
Yes.
instead of realizing the issue that faced.
Now what are they going to do?
Yeah, this is
take her out?
Well,
no, they're not going to.
Well, here's the issue, and by the way, I think this is why Bernie Sanders is not going to suspend his campaign, is that as long as he's in the race, they can't bring anybody else in. If she were to become indicted and no longer be able to serve as the nominee, it would become Bernie Sanders. If you allow him to suspend his campaign and leave, then they could move in somebody else, whether it's Joe Biden or somebody else that they have in mind.
Well, it ain't going to happen. Read my lips. It ain't gonna happen. 571-2428, 571-CHAT. Give us a call.
WFIA, The Spirit.
Imagine a vacation specifically designed for your spiritual growth and enrichment, along with 5-star accommodations, beautiful scenery, historic sites, and a community of people committed to you having a once-in-a-lifetime experience. Join us this fall on a 15-day all-inclusive Mediterranean cruise with Pastor Alistair Begg, and visit thrilling stops in Naples, Jerusalem, Rome, and more. It's the Footsteps of the Apostles Mediterranean Cruise. Come and experience sites like the Sistine Chapel, the historic Western Wall in Jerusalem, and the beauty of the Isle of Santorini, all during one trip with like-minded travelers. Register today to sail the pristine Mediterranean waters in luxurious accommodations and follow in the footsteps of the apostles to Athens and Ephesus. With special guests and resident teaching Pastor Alistair Begg, this cruise is sure to be inspiring and refreshing. The Footsteps of the Apostles Mediterranean Cruise is happening September 22nd to October 9th. To register, visit footstepsoftheapostles.com. That's footstepsoftheapostles.com. Have you had that nightmare of building your own home? Well, it really can be just that, unless, that is, you know my friends at Better by Design. Bob Leonard & Co. have produced over 2,000 house plans for more than 100 builders and literally hundreds of homeowner clients. You know what, these people? Yeah, the real people like me and you, not anonymous users, but real people have to say about his plans. They say things like the prints are more accurate, they're more reliable, they're higher quality, they're simple, they're easily understood. The plans are fully complete. That's huge. Those are values that take the nightmare out of what should be a pleasant experience for everyone designing a home. I know that you trust me, but if you want to check out Angie's List, go right ahead. You'll see the for real reviews right there. So give my friend Bob Leonard a call and let him wow you with how personal he'll make this experience for you. Call him today at 502-741-2748, 741-2748, or visit him at bbd-plans.com.
Napa know-how. Goop, gunk, sludge, whatever you want to call it. It's the stuff that makes your engine just plain dirty. Luckily, the active cleaning power of Pennzoil Conventional Motor Oil, just $3.39 a quart at Napa, helps keep your engine clean. So pick up Pennzoil Conventional for $3.39 a quart at Napa and say goodbye to gunk. That's Napa know-how. General States pricing. Sales prices do not include applicable state, local taxes, or recycling fees. Offer expires 6/30/16.
QL1, this is Control. Does Rocket Mortgage require me to come in and speak with someone?
Negative, Control. With Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans, you can go through the entire mortgage process on your own and completely online.
Copy that, QL1, but if I wanted to speak to someone, do you think they're out there?
They're out there, all right. Their award-winning client service is beyond anything I've ever experienced.
3, 2, 1.
Rocket Mortgage at QuickenLoans.com. Push button, get mortgage.
Rocket.
Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states and MLSConsumerAccess.org number 3030.
You're listening to Just Ask Joyce on WFIA, The Spirit.
Thank you so much for joining us today. Garrett Sivaking is breaking down Election Selection 2016 just for you, our listeners. And of course, we had a lot of hubbub last night, and we're talking about that. We are opening the phone lines for you if you'd like to join in on some of this. 571-2428. Perhaps you have a question for Garrett. You can call and ask now, or you can send him your question at electionselection@icloud.com. Follow us on Twitter at ElectSelect. And join us on Facebook at Election Selection.
And make sure you take our Twitter
the poll. I like that.
Select.
Yes. Who's in the lead? Still Trump?
Well, they're tied right now.
Are they tied?
There's a tie between
he and Johnson, or
he and Johnson are tied. 21% for Hillary Clinton. Following that is 37-37 for Trump and Johnson. 21% for Hillary Clinton and 5% for Jill Stein. So get out there and vote.
Yeah, we do. All right, so let's talk about this. You kind of gave us a thumbnail sketch of what the Libertarian Party looks like. And we talked a little bit about the Green Party. But do you know anything about the candidates themselves?
Well, Gary Johnson was a Republican governor from New Mexico. He was known as the veto governor. He vetoed bills over and over again, including their budgets, because he didn't feel like it was responsible enough. And he was very similar to Governor Bevin in this. I mean, Governor Bevin didn't have his legislature. It was close like that. His legislature was close like that. Gary Johnson did run for the Republican nomination in 2012. Never made it very far because of Ron Paul being in there. Kind of had a competing voice there from the same sector of the Republican Party. And ended up, once he kind of got... that he was denied access to those early debates. He moved to the Libertarian Party. And I said then, when he moved to the Libertarian Party, the Republican Party was egregious to him because he should have been allowed in those first debates. And we have to remember, this isn't the 17 that we had then. We're talking about 10 people or less at the time in 2012. So he very well could have been allowed, and should have been allowed into the... And I think he would have brought a very good discussion on some of those issues. Because like I said, when he vetoed a lot of these bills, it was because of regulation that was included. It was because of taxation. And he was taking a stand saying that businesses do not thrive under this type of environment. He had a lot of his campaign materials coming out, a lot of his interviews recently. He's been talking about the reason that jobs are not created, good paying jobs, are because the government is in the way of creating these jobs through taxation, through regulation.
Making it so difficult.
Yes. So on those things, a lot of Republicans are going to say yes. Oh, absolutely. Even some Democrats are going to say yes, I agree.
Where should we fear?
Well, there's a lot of people will fear on some of the social issues. The Libertarian Party used to say, a lot of people say they're fiscally responsible and socially liberal. Now you will see in the Libertarian Party, as more and more Republicans have moved into the Libertarian Party, that it's more that they're socially, they either believe it should be left up to the states to decide on how to regulate abortion or to how to regulate marriage. Some people think that there should be no government role in marriage at all. That's a very strong libertarian stance coming from them on those issues. On the environment, you will see that they will, while they're not for government regulation, they're very conservationist, very similar to Teddy Roosevelt, which I think a lot of Americans agree with. They don't necessarily go as far as the Green Party does, but they believe, and a lot of Christians do believe, that you are supposed to take care of the earth that you're given from God, that you don't. But, a lot of us are saying that some of the things that the far environmentalists are saying don't fit that ideal. It goes too far.
They go a little, just a little overboard on some things,
Well, and so the environmental issue is something that they talk about, but it's not as prominent. But a lot of Republicans would agree with them on that as well. The main thing where you're going to have a lot of differences, and we have a difference in where the Bernie Sanders people are going to come into the Libertarian, is the issue of marijuana legalization and the role of the war
about that now.
And the role of marijuana in medical use and in medical research, or even in personal use, and how that works for criminal justice. So that's an issue that a lot of people are going to talk about. It's a discussion that we've been having in this country since we began the war on drugs, and now we're kind of going back and forth. I honestly see that Donald Trump, hasn't really talked. He's talked a little bit about medical marijuana. saying that he supports states' rights to medical marijuana. And he's not really talked about marijuana for personal use and its legalization. So it's going to be interesting to see if Gary Johnson is included in those debates, because that will once again bring up the immigration issue, because you have the war on drugs plays a large role in the issue of illegal immigration and in border security.
And, and nobody ever addresses sex trade.
Yes.
I don't hear much of that out there, but let me tell you, it's a huge industry.